Okay. Welcome, Terps. I am James Bond. Yes, that is my real name. And my pronouns are he, him, and his. And I'm the Assistant Director in the Office of Student Conduct here at Maryland. But today I'm honored to be your MC for this year's President's Welcome. We are excited to welcome you to our first virtual President's Welcome. Historically, we would welcome every new Terp in the Xfinity Center, and you would sit with your residential community and hear some remarks about Maryland. As a Terp alum, I remember vividly being where you are at this point in your Terrapin journey. But let's be honest, no one has been where you are. As a fellow Terp, we are excited to begin this year with some caution, innovative ideas, and as always, a lot of Terrapin pride. Tonight you will hear from Maryland's newest leaders, all of whom started in their roles just this year, just like you. First, you'll hear from our Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Patty Perillo, then our 34th President of the University, Dr. Darrell Pines, and then our Student Government Association Leadership, President Dan Alpert and Vice President Nabila Presatiawan. Because we are virtual, we want to engage with you virtually. So throughout this event, we want to hear from you and what you're most looking forward to this fall. Tell us on social media using #TerrapinStrong. Personally, I'm looking forward to the leaves changing color on our mall. It is one of the prettiest sights on our campus, in my opinion. So I'm challenging you to continue to share and use #TerrapinStrong all night. Maybe we will reuse some of your posts later on tonight. And just a reminder for those of you that need it, you are able to caption tonight's event using the captioning options at the bottom of your Zoom screens. So what do you say we get this started? I have the pleasure to introduce to you our Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Patty Perillo.
Welcome back home, returning Terps, and a big welcome to our new graduate students and our undergraduate class of 2024. We are really glad that you have joined our Terrapin family. My name's Patty Perillo, and I have the joy of serving as your Vice President for Student Affairs. As James said, this is my first fall semester in this position, but I'm not new to Maryland. I am an alum because I got my graduate degree here many years ago, so I too am a part of the Terrapin family. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the work of Student Affairs. There are 14 departments, nearly 3,500 students, faculty, and staff that work in the division, and we all have one primary purpose, and that is to make sure that you, our students, thrive. Not just survive, but thrive. You really will find Student Affairs everywhere around campus, and your outside the classroom experiences, and that is by design, because we want to journey alongside you. We want to intersect with you. Because what we know is that you are the best of the best and the brightest of the brightest. You know, 30% of people in the United States get to go to college. About 7% in the world, and less than 1% get to study at a preeminent world-class research institution like the University of Maryland. So you are less than that 1%. So we know that you're extraordinary. And we want to do all that we can do to make sure that your best selves come forward. We want to optimize your learning, connect what you're doing inside the classroom to outside the classroom experiences. And what we also know is that you're not just coming here with your minds, that you are developing in all the ways that we develop, morally, ethically, relationally, physically, intellectually. And we want to optimize that because you are extraordinary human beings, and there's no doubt about that. And we never forget in Student Affairs that the reason we are here is because of you, our students. This is an institution that is deeply invested in your success. We care about you a lot. And you will find lots of people and programs and resources and services set up for you to get involved and get engaged. Stamp Student Union, for example, lots of community events there. Our multicultural involvement and community advocates, a place for our underrepresented and underserved students to find social connections with others who are marginalized. Our residence halls, building community with all kinds of programs and connections. We want you to care for yourself and we want to care for you. So we want you to engage our counseling center and our health center and our rec well. And as you learn more about how do you care for yourself, we also hope that you learn about how to care for others. And of course, we have our career center that helps you figure out your path forward. One of the things that I love about the University of Maryland is we don't just ask you, our students, what do you want to study or what do you want to do with your life? We ask you, who do you want to be in your life? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? And much of that is shaped by your outside the classroom experiences. So get involved and get engaged. The research is very clear. No matter how you do it, get involved because you'll have better GPAs, you'll stay the course, you'll persist, you'll graduate. Engagement matters, and we want to do that with you. Every time we start a new year, I go back to my days when I started as an undergrad. And so I'm reminded of that myself. I'm first generation, and I guess many of you are too, first in our families to go to college. I'm one of 8 children, the 5th child, and clearly my parents' favorite. But going away was really hard for me. I was really homesick, and maybe some of you are, and maybe some of you aren't. Maybe you just love this newfound freedom. But what I do know is that none of us started a fall semester in a pandemic like you are starting. So no matter where you are in the continuum, no matter where you are, know that we are here to support you in any way, shape, or form because you belong here. We care about you. You matter. So I wish you a great, successful semester and full academic year. I wish you good health, true friendships, lots of fun. Get connected, stay healthy, and go Terps.
Thank you, Patty, for your thoughtful words. Next up is the University of Maryland's 34th president, Dr. Darrell Pines.
Good afternoon, everyone. And if you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. But more importantly, welcome to all of you as part of the Terrapin family. The university is now whole that you are here. Boy, I've seen so many students walking around this campus in the last couple of days. It's so exciting to see you all back. And I really just want to welcome you back to our wonderful campus and see you out there on McKeldin Mall. I've been here for about 25 years, but I recently started as the 34th president of the University of Maryland on July 1. But because I've been here for 25 years, I started off as an engineering professor in aerospace engineering, came up through the ranks, became the department chair of aerospace engineering, and then later I became the dean of engineering, the A. James Clark School of Engineering, for the past 11 years. My family and I love this university. My 2 children have gotten their degrees from this university, and they have also really contributed to its fabric. We simply love being Terrapins. Now, what does it really mean to be a Terrapin? I'm going to share with you some ideas that hopefully you will remember. Number 1, the camaraderie of learning and growing together and the experiences of the hands-on discovery that you all will witness and experience yourselves. The rush you will feel in your own personal pursuit of excellence and the excellence that the university pursues with you. The pride you'll feel in your and the university's accomplishments when you see them and you participate in and you hear about them. And then more importantly, we as Terps care for one another. And that's really more important this year than any other year in the history of the University of Maryland. And why? Because we are dealing with 2 challenging pandemics. One, COVID-19, which is the reason why we're on this Zoom introduction and welcome. And number 2, social injustice. So on day 1, July 1, when I started as president, I laid out 12 initiatives. They were bracketed in student experience, advancing the university, and creating a more inclusive environment. One of the top initiatives that I actually mentioned on that day was about improving resources for mental health support for students, faculty, and staff. This has been a trying time for all of us, the entire time that we have been in this pandemic and that we are still in the pandemic. But we are providing those resources to help you. And towards the issue of more inclusivity, more diversity, and making our campus a better campus for every citizen, such that every citizen, every student, every faculty member, every staff member can reach their true potential. I've created a number of programs to help move that along and move our whole university along. One that I want to mention to you is Terrapin Strong. Terrapin Strong is an onboarding program in which you get to know yourselves and your fellow peers very well. You get to exchange information about your personal strengths, learn about hate bias training, learn about sexual harassment training, learn how to respect one another, learn how to share and work in teams. We want our environment to be one of the best environments for each one of you. And so the Terrapin On Board program, a Terrapin Strong program, is to really enable you to reach your potential. So I'm super excited about that program. Now, as we all know, we've been in a pandemic over the last 4 to 5 months, and it's been challenging for your parents, it's been challenging for you, but we're also very excited to have you back. Let me share with you what we've been doing to prepare our campus for your arrival. So as you may have been reading in many different email distributions that we have been sending to you, we have done a lot of work to prepare this campus for your arrival. We've cleaned the residence halls, significantly cleaned the residence halls. We upgraded some of the maintenance issues that were in some of the HVAC systems of the residence hall and our classroom buildings. We put signage everywhere to make sure that people know how to practice healthy behaviors. We put circulation patterns on how you enter buildings and exit buildings. What's really important this fall that's different than fall of 2019 is that all of you follow these 4 Maryland healthy behaviors. So wear a mask whenever you're on campus, both inside and outside. You have been doing that really well. I've been driving around campus and I've seen many of you wearing your masks and practicing social distancing. Make sure that you wash your hands multiple times a day. Make sure that you also monitor your health symptoms multiple times a day to make sure that you're feeling well, because these healthy behaviors will keep all of us extremely healthy going forward. So it's important that you do this not just for yourself, but for your friends and also for your family. So we are prepared to have you back, and we're excited about having you back, and we want to have you back. So in conclusion, I want this to be truly a great year for all of you. Please practice the 4 Maryland healthy behaviors, because I want you all to enjoy your time here. I want us to stay here. I want us to have a great experience for you and for all of us, and want us all to be Terrapin Strong. So go Terps.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pines, for your words of wisdom. We are excited to have you as our president. The I Am for Maryland commitment to the community affirms that each of us as individuals are responsible for keeping ourselves and each other safe from COVID-19. Staying healthy in a changing environment for students on campus will meet you where you are and equip you with knowledge, skills, and resources to help prevent the spread of COVID-19 for yourself and your community, whether you live or learn on campus, live near campus, or are taking classes remotely from other locations. It is important for you to know what our campus expectations are and how we plan to support you in this unprecedented journey. To be successful, we ask that you make a commitment to the University of Maryland community, to yourself, to those around you, and to the greater community, and pledge that you will do your part. Now, as of this morning, 12,362 learners have taken the pledge, acknowledging they both understand and are committed to the 4 Maryland practices, and they are wearing a face covering both your mouth and your nose. Now, I've been around campus too. The mouth is covered, the nose isn't covered, that nose. Wash your hands frequently. Stay 6 feet apart. Thank you, Dr. Pines, for modeling this. Stay 6 feet apart and stay home if you are sick. If all of us adopt these behaviors, our Maryland community will thrive. And here is some more information.
The University of Maryland is one of the premier institutions of higher education in the world. For over 150 years, we have proudly served the citizens of the great state of Maryland. The fall 2020 semester will be like no other in our history. A global virus has forced us to reinvent ourselves. We have reduced occupancy in our residence halls, in our classrooms, and in our study spaces to allow for appropriate physical distancing. Stamp Student Union looks a little different, but it is still a hub for student activity. Equipment and exercise classes in our recreation and wellness facilities have been designed with health and safety in mind. Virtual counseling sessions provide important support during these uncertain times. Our dining halls have adapted too, reducing capacity for inside dining while expanding grab-and-go options. And we even installed shelves on McKeldin Mall to inspire physical distancing. For Maryland Health campaign promotes healthy behaviors both on and off campus. Wear a face covering, inside and outside. Wash your hands frequently. Practice physical distancing and stay home if you are sick. Together, we must do everything we can to ensure a special semester for everyone. We can do it because we are Terrapin Strong.
We are Terrapin Strong. We can prevent the spread of the coronavirus for everyone at Maryland. Now let's keep things moving. Up next is our 2020 Student Body President, Dan Alpert.
Welcome back, and welcome to the class of 2024 to the University of Maryland. My name is Dan Alpert, and I have the honor to represent all of our 30,000 undergraduate students as your student body president. Our graduate students are also joining us today, so be sure to connect with the graduate student government. This is a year of many news. We have a new university president, new buildings on campus, and of course, our new freshman class. And all of us are here for a reason. Some of us were academic leaders in your high schools, regional leaders in your youth groups, researched impressive topics, and encouraged your peers to focus more on their mental health beyond social media. These are the types of Terps that we're proud to welcome to our campus community, and to join in the ranks of those who started Oculus, founded Google, and now find their way in the halls of the Capitol. It's what makes me proud to be a Terp. This isn't how I imagined my senior year would be, but I know it's going to be a year I won't forget because my friends, the memories we'll make, and the community we've built. However, we must realize that we are not in a bubble in a confine of a beautiful campus. We live in a world right now where we must be aware of our surroundings, especially with the actions that we take every day as it relates to eliminating COVID-19. As part of this Terp family, we must do our part to ensure the positivity rate on campus remains as low as possible. And that can only happen if we pledge to do this together. Together, we can hold our peers accountable and make sure each of us is wearing our masks, practicing physical distancing, and following the 4 Maryland guidelines. Safety must be our priority this year so that we can go back to cheering on our sports teams, working out in group fitness classes, and learning together in our academic spaces. We can do it, and we'll do it together. It also may not be the easiest year for all of us. If you find yourself or a friend needing help, it's important that you get it. Our counseling center will have daily drop-in sessions ranging from academic success to adaptability and resilience series. In addition, our counseling center will continue to be available virtually with more flexible times to ensure that our Terp family remains not only physically healthy during this pandemic, but emotionally and mentally healthy as well. It is important to get the help that you need. And at Maryland, we are here for you, and we are here for each other. As we welcome new students and welcome back returning students, it's important to remember to stay engaged and involved on campus. Stay physically distant and attend the great events that will be occurring and join clubs in their virtual programming. I'm excited for this year, and you should be too. We've got a lot of great opportunities that you'll hear about shortly, and soon enough, you'll feel right at home here on our campus. Be smart, be safe, make good decisions, and let's have a great year together. Go Terps. And speaking of Go Terps, Maryland Pride is so important on our campus. And although athletics will look a little bit different, we want to give you a glimpse into what it will look like in the semester ahead.
Some air under Deswan Demas. All alone. The Maryland Terps are national champions. The hands are count. Count with a 3.
Where Watson, the senior, puts it in.
I love that video so much. As a diehard Terrapin fan myself, I'm excited for all sports to return and to losing my voice cheering on our student athletes, but doing it when it's safe. Our tradition of winning is merely paused, but we'll get back to dominating the Big Ten in no time. Our final speaker is a very involved student on campus and ready to work for you, the students of the University of Maryland. Please welcome Vice President of SGA, Nabila Prasatiawan.
Good evening, Maryland, and welcome freshman class of 2024. My name is Nabila Prasatiawan. I use she, hers pronouns, and today I'm proud to represent the Student Government Association, Student Entertainment Events, and the Asian American Student Union. Since so many of you are new to our campus, it is important to acknowledge and learn from the history of racism and physical violence experienced by the Black community at UMD. We must never forget that this was the site of the murder of Lieutenant Richard Collins III by the hands of a white supremacist, a name that I hope never leaves the conversation that you are now a part of. We can start by creating a dialogue to honor those that have been historically and systematically disenfranchised. We are on the ancestral lands of the Piscataway people, who are among the first in the Western Hemisphere. We are an indigenous land that was stolen by European colonists. As you go about your time at Maryland, consider the many legacies of violence, displacement, migration, and settlement that brings you here today. The erasure of Native voices is not the only barrier to participation that our diverse campus faces. As a Muslim on this campus, I struggle with the perception that women like me are oppressed. I'm silenced on conversations I find important, or I'm asked to share the perspective of my entire identity, both in the classroom and in organizations, leaving me feeling tokenized and drained. The UMD community may be diverse, but struggles to be inclusive. And we cannot go about our day-to-day like we always have. So listen to minorities when they speak and elevate the voices of the underrepresented. We can make this campus safer for its communities by being change makers, bringing up challenging conversations, and being innovative. That is what challenges Terps to be better, which is why it has never been more important to get involved. As you transition into the UMD community, make sure to attend the First Look Fair on September 16th and 17th. It is an amazing way for you to find your thing and learn about the 700 registered student organizations on campus. Whether you're new here or not, your community is waiting for you. Or join the Adele H. Stamp Student Union for their Saturday game nights every week for fun prizes, events, and chances to connect. The Stamp is your main hub for events and programming. This fall, check out terplink.umd.edu, our platform to find programs, to find ways to engage outside the classroom, and meet other students with the same interest. And on Saturday, September 12th, UMD will be part of USM United, a virtual unity concert featuring your favorite performers. Tune in and help raise money for the Student Crisis Fund. These events are open to all students, undergrad and graduate, and I encourage you all to attend. It's also important to be civically engaged. Register to vote, keep yourself educated about each race, learn more about candidates, and request an absentee ballot. You can request your ballots at terps/vote by mail, And make sure to follow Terps Vote on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for election updates and reminders. The 2020 general election is right around the corner. And for those who are eligible, it's so important for us to get out the vote. Terps, I hope you find your shell. We are so excited to see you here.
Thank you, Nabila. Now, as Nabila said, and as Dr. Perillo said, there are some great ways to get involved on campus, even virtually. And we want you to visit us at the First Look Fair. There will be plenty of tables and student organizations to connect with. Your success as a student will take place in the classroom, but also when you apply the information you learn in the classroom in your student activities. We want to thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Dr. Pines, Patty, Dan, and Nabila for your remarks. We are so excited to start this year with you. We are a community and we will succeed together. Let's look out for each other and be mindful of the shared responsibility that we have to be Terrapin strong. Please stay safe and good night.